Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Real Men Real Style. Today, I'm going to be talking about the lightweight down jacket. All right, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. By doing that, these videos come right to you. In addition, if you like this, if you find it useful, I would appreciate it if you would click on the like button. And if you want to learn more about men's style, I've got a free 47-page ebook for you. You can get that by just clicking on the link right below this video. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into it. The lightweight down jacket. As you can see, I have one on, and it's I don't know if it exactly matches the cardigan and tie and white dress shirt that I have on underneath, but it is something that is very functional, a very useful piece in a man's wardrobe, especially if you like to layer and if you're going to be in areas where it is cold and you value really the strengths that this piece of clothing brings to the table. So let me go ahead and lay out the strengths. I mean, and by the way, fashion and style is not one of these. It used to be probably back in the 70s, but since the, I would say 90s, this look has really been overplayed in cities. But let me go ahead and talk about the strengths. The strengths it is warm. This does a great job. Down is an excellent insulator. And how it does that, it actually, with these pockets right here, so this has a number of pockets, and these pockets, they suck in air, and they use down, which is, if you're not familiar, you have feathers, and then right below the feather are down. Although supposedly, not an ornithologist here, but I do understand. I think the basics of that, and my understanding is that they're not true feathers, but they are very feather-like, much smaller, and they put them in here. And what this does, they create space, and the air comes in there. The air is trapped, and air is an excellent insulator. Air is an excellent insulator because it doesn't allow heat to transfer very easily. So in the same way that your cooler does a good job of keeping things cold or keeping things hot, like a thermos, this does the same for you. It keeps in your body heat, and it prevents the cold from going in and affecting your core. So down, really hard to beat when it comes to insulation. There are a few things that can do it, but really for the cost for the cost, this is an excellent. Let's talk about another thing that's really nice, lightweight. So this jacket, I can tell you, is incredibly light. It's a bit loud, so you don't want to be, if you're a kind of a high-speed, low-drag military guy, you probably, or your Force Recon, Navy SEAL, Delta Force, you probably don't want to be using this because it gives off a loud sound. You can probably hear that in the video, but it is incredibly lightweight. So if you are going hiking, this could be an option, assuming that you're going hiking in a dry area. And I'll talk about that, why. But if you're going to be hiking, there is going to be no rain for the foreseeable future. Great piece of gear, incredibly light, will keep you warm on let's say you're out in Arizona, you're hiking through the Grand Canyon at night in the winter. This is a great piece of gear to take with you. Also, because it can be compressed down. So during the day, it may be pretty warm, and at night, you can pull this out, and because it sucks in the air and it forms those pockets, in a sense, air's all over us, all around us. So again, you can compress this very small. Now, the containers that a lot of these are in, and in this one in particular, you can see this one actually is water resistant. I'm not sure it's fully waterproof, but I know it's water resistant. So another thing about these jackets, they usually use a lot of synthetic material on the outside. So pretty good at water just rolling off. And the other thing is you're going to see these usually made in bright colors. Of course, there are parkas and other things that use down, and they use more drab colors, but a lot of the garments in this area you're going to see made with very bright colors. This is good for safety reasons. So you're out hiking and you get lost, all of a sudden you're a lot easier to spot from an airplane. Or if you're out walking on a trail and it's hunting season, I would advise just not going out into the woods during hunting season, especially here in Wisconsin. But a bright color like this is going to separate you from the animals. So we've talked about compressible. We've talked about basically warm. Now let's talk about the negative things. The first thing, and I alluded to this, if you get down wet, it loses its insulating properties. So, and it takes a long time to dry out. So down is not a good thing, even if it's water resistance. If you fall into a lake, or you fall, into a river, or you get drenched on, you could, end up with a jacket that's very heavy and is not insulating at all. So that is a negative aspect. Another one is and I touched this at the beginning, these have been overplayed since the 90s. And what you've seen, it used to be that if you were wearing something like this, you were actually going outdoors. You were maybe from the Seattle area, you were from Colorado. Now you see them all over. I mean, you can walk through any of the major cities, and instead of men wearing stylish gear, most guys look like they're basically packed to go climb Mount Everest or Mount McKinley or something. So, in bright colors, they are not stylish, especially, it's just a bit too much screaming. Also, with the down, I don't know if you could, let me put my arms up here. It really does not flatter the figure. So even if you have a you've got a drop, let's say you've got a pretty good sized chest, you exercise, and then your waist, is, you've got the six packs, no one's going to see it. I mean, you might as well have a keg underneath this jacket, because you basically look like a marshmallow. So another thing is hard to adjust. A lot of other pieces of menswear you can adjust. This one is a bit harder to even for a seamstress or tailor to bring in. So if it doesn't fit properly, it's going to be hard to adjust that. And that's even on the sleeves, simply because they use a lot of, right here on these sleeves, they've got an elastic around the wrist, which is supposed to, help keep in heat, but it's going to be hard for a seamstress to shorten or lengthen. In fact, she can't even lengthen these sleeves. So no shape to the body. If they get wet, loses insulation. So those are the negatives, but you saw there's a lot of positives. For the right man, this could be an essential wardrobe piece, but for some of you, there's really no room for this. I like to keep something like this tight, wrapped up inside my truck for an emergency jacket to be able to pull out, but that's probably about it for my use. Okay, guys, this is the lightweight down jacket. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.